Hoy tenemos a un invitado muy especial, Slin, que era su primer All Night Long aquí en Barcelona y, bueno, en su carrera como DJ. Y la intención de esto es que conozcáis un poco más pues, su proyecto, qué hay detrás de pinchar a vinilo. Y nada, con esto empezamos. Slin, second time in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Excited for this one?
Super excited. Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity. Tonight I have the honor to play all night long. It's a 5-hour set and super excited about it. I think what makes it so cool is just the time you have. I brought so many records with me and can't wait to dive through various genres and yeah, really go for it.
Yeah, just in this few sentences, you've gone through like several topics that are very interesting for an all night long. Like, what should people expect from an all night long compared to these more short sets we are currently experiencing? Because now lineups are like artist after artist, several artists playing one night. I don't think they have the time to explain their full story behind. What should people expect from all night long vinyl artists?
So I think my approach in general is, even if I'm playing, like I'd say the average set is like 2 hours, something like this. And I always try to play a lot of subgenres. I have like 5 different vibes I want to dive in. But sometimes I feel like, okay, I already need to go to the next genre in order to keep in my time frame. But obviously, if you double up or even like triple the amount of time you have, I can stay longer in like one genre. And I think this helps me to intensify it more and more and ultimately achieve a more like connection, but also more energy on the dance floor. It won't feel rushed, you know. More organic.
Yeah, 100%. But as you're saying, you put plenty of time to like deep into some genres that have impact you during your career, and now you're pouring behind the decks, right? Since 1 year to 1 year, we will experience tunes. Like, do you have records pre-2000, post-2000? Like, which is more the style you're focusing in, not just in terms of some techno subgenre, but also historic moments of techno that influencing you in the way you put your sense onto it, right?
Yeah, I'd say most of my records are from the early 2000s. I always look for new records though, so I also brought like the current stuff with me. But I'd say like the focus is definitely on the early 2000s stuff. Play also some like 90s music, like the ghetto house.
Old school back.
For sure. I mean, for me, like old school it's a nice term, but I like to call it like true school. You know, what I'm looking in a track is not like, oh, it should sound old school or something. For me, it should sound timeless. And I think this is really important. And also, it's really present on the dance floor. Like, people will listen to it. And I don't think they will be like, oh, this is like really old school sounding. Maybe like the DJ heads, but like the majority of the crowd will be like, this sounds fresh to me because they also hear it for the first time. So even though I play a lot of old school stuff, I'm just looking for fresh sounds in general, and think like this as well, you know, like combine like the old school with the new school. And like, I don't like these unwritten rules of you can only mix this with that. I just like to experiment with like how far can I go with like these borders, what's right, what's wrong, and just experiment and listen what feels right, like listen to my gut.
That's extremely interesting, because I think now not a lot of people has this consciousness of how long does it take for a only vinyl artist to prepare his set, not meaning as sketched up, but preparing till the moment they leave home to buy the vinyls, dig through different vinyl stores. So how is that process? I mean, how is that process in the moment you start planning for a gig, knowing which promoter, which CD? What's the process between that moment till the moment you are like straightly putting yourself in front of the people?
I mean, for me, it's a lifestyle. I never really stop, you know, like looking for new music or like thinking, okay, what should I play in my next show? So for me, it's not like, okay, I have a show coming up and the weekend. Now I need to really prepare a lot. It's a lot like I came from a gig and I was like, I tried to analyze it, was like, okay, what worked, what maybe didn't work so well? What do you want to make better in the next one? And for me, it's just like constant, keeping up like the momentum and being more about consistency rather than like working super hard on it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you would count the hours, you know, like how many hours I put in during the week, I guess it's a lot. Yeah,
more than a full-time job, right?
More than a full-time job. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's the strange point that I want to take also in this podcast. Like, why there's this extra value that the vinyl artist brings to the audience, and when you say is besides innovation, also being able to bring non-digitalized music to the dance floor as well. Pieces that you won't be able to find SoundCloud, Bandcamp. Of course, you can buy the record, go through the sound card and digitalize it, but it's harder to find. It will probably be the first time for a lot of people that they listen to that.
Exactly.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember when I was on the dance floor listening to DJs, for example, Hector Oaks, for the first time hearing music that I've never heard before, that I tried to Shazam it, and I couldn't find it. And then once I got aware of it, okay, there's actually music that is not digitally available. There are no previews on the internet. I thought like it's something really special in this modern world where you have basically access to everything. And now there's a DJ playing something that, it's just you can only experience in the club. And
when you see him performing.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I mean. And that's so cool, and I try to give that to people as well. Some appreciate it, some won't never know.
But that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Why they should
true that,
because I think the dialogue, and correct me if it's not like this, but the dialogue around defending vinyl has always taken a very purist sense of focus.
I agree. Yeah.
Meaning that also it's all it comes a lot of times down to social media, right?
Yeah.
All the comments you see is like, mixing with digital is not really mixing. And mixing with digital is as valuable as mixing with vinyl.
For sure.
100%.
Sure.
There's another value. So I think at some point it took the wrong direction, the dialogue. Instead of focusing of what extra value playing vinyl is bringing, besides technique and stuff, but it's all what you're saying. Like since the moment you start digging for fresh, new sounds, even old tracks that haven't been played and you don't listen that much, and you can bring for the first time to the dance floor. Yeah, I think the main theme should go around this. And this is what you bring onto the table when you're playing on the vinyl, because you're very young, obviously. And I think as a promoter, it takes huge guts to make this bet straight on vinyl, because it's not. I mean, it's appreciated in the industry, but if it just facts that you cannot see that many only vinyl artists playing in big festivals. You know a few names, of course, but there's a bunch of others that are trying to follow this sort of path to pursue their dream, and instead of jumping to what's more, let's say, comfortable, which is playing digital, comfortable in both sides for the promoter and for the artist. Take this path. So what would you recommend them, and why should they still be betting on like going vinyl?
I mean, I can only say for me, vinyl is just super fun, like all the struggle that comes along with it, I enjoy it. Like from cleaning the records, from sorting it somewhere, from the potential of something going wrong during the show and you need to figure out a way. It's all things that excite me. And when a set was flawless or near flawless, like the feeling I get and the appreciation is just like makes it so rewarding. So I can recommend to like DJ colleagues, if they I don't know, encounter like technical difficulties, or they have the feeling like people don't appreciate it so much. Just like, yeah, remember yourself, you know, you're doing it for a reason, you're finding so much appreciation, and I think once that mindset is strong enough, you will reflect it to the outside and people will be aware of. But I have to say, like, I'm generally fascinated by how many people appreciate vinyl. Like, in my head, often I'm like, okay, I'm a DJ playing the music, but then when I see after my set people coming up saying, hey, you're playing vinyl, it's so cool, I'm fascinated by that people actually are aware of it and not only dancing, having their eyes closed or whatever, which is also totally fine. But yeah, being aware of it and appreciating the extra effort that is put in.
That's very true. And sometimes we just think that it's not. Maybe it's people is appreciating it, but us as a promoters are not giving it much relevance because of the difficulties you may have, because it's not the easy way. So sometimes. This is a very common fact in the industry. You focus on, okay, it doesn't really bring something compared to the difficulties it also brings in terms of logistics. But that could go back to this. People does appreciate it, but we just need to bet more and more on that. That's why, as for example, as being a very young brand, we've only been 3 years around something like that. We are like, we work with hard techno, but still we feel this depth to continue the path that others built. And what's better than bringing like young artists that have focused really onto vinyl to show that this is something fresh that you need to bet on and that brings something different to the audience, right?
I really appreciate that you guys providing the opportunity also to like every club owner that is willing to put in energy, effort to create a solid working environment for us vinyl DJs. And I think, it just like we push each other, and then we can make it better, you know, like promoters, club owners, DJs, and from there we can create, like, I think at the end of the day, it's about the diversity, you know, like every DJ should express themselves how it should be. And I think it would be a bit sad if you only have like these one specific type of DJs. Like, it's all about the diversity, I think, with the music. Exactly.
Back to back, bringing freshness.
Yeah, exactly, and everyone should be respected, you know.
100%.
That's what you guys going for.
And going back to the struggles.
Yeah.
You have found during this path, like going from even technical to whatever other. Do you have anyone in mind that you like remember a lot? Like, this was like, okay, they booked me, but they don't really knew what they will face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to tell names.
Just say the experience.
It happened to me. Funny enough, was also in Spain. Well, it was at a point was near to quitting my set because I was like, it's so bad, and it was a combination of a lot of things. I think the main point being that I couldn't do a proper sound check only for like 5 minutes, and everything was really rushed. So obviously we couldn't figure out what's wrong in those 5 minutes, and then like a bunch of needle skipping during the set, and this was probably one of my worst experiences, like needle skipping or feedback problems. Yeah.
Okay, and you said I was nearly quitting the set. What makes you stick?
The people. Yeah, the people. I couldn't do it, even if it would have been even worse. You know, for me, it's like the people on the dance floor and so on. You don't want to let them down. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, because then you also feel like some people don't really understand, you know, what's going on, and they're just like, oh, it's a bad DJ or something.
Yeah. like sort of fake feedback can be generated. Because
could be.
You're asking a lot if you really want people to understand that it can be a technical issue. What they mainly think is probably something around him or wherever. But it's good. It's very good and very interesting, and I can see it when your eyes light up, because when you say that even though wherever it comes, I'll be there for them. I'll be there in the dance floor, and I bring them what they want to see wherever I have under my hands.
Exactly. Make the best out of it. See it as a challenge. Is also something that I had to learn. Like in the beginning, if I'm totally honest, I was a bit more puristic. I got my fake ideas, how I want it to be, and still I'm striving for that. Whether it's the form of playing my own mixer, I want to perfect like the craft of like vinyl only DJing, but I don't freak out anymore. If something goes wrong, because like what else is there to do, just make the best out of it. But yeah, for me, I still really appreciate if a promoter, I can tell that a promoter is, for example, reading my tech writer. I think it's all there for a reason, and
in support of the promoters, I need to say that sometimes tech writers, not the tech writers, but the writer as a whole, like in the hospitality, it's like, man, at some point,
I get it.
In touch with reality, but the writer needs to be respected. And I can see also the faith the manager does also have on the vinyl artist, on how well explained is everything compared to other like digital tech writers. Like this really very, very, very detailed. So you reduce the margin of error.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Going back to the mixer. Because you're not playing Zone, not playing Pioneer.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Why is that? Which mixer are you playing?
Here and there. Every time.
Bring it with you?
Yeah, it was an interesting development. So I started with like compared to all the other DJs, probably also with the Zone. I guess it's the go-to. It's an analog mixer. I think it's totally valuable. And functional wise, it's really good, and still enjoy it. But over the years I got aware that there's like the sound. I was always a bit frustrated of sounding weaker than the digital DJs. Like I can remember when I played one time before Vila and Cravo at a festival. It was a stage I was playing, and they started, and like the whole stage just like was shaking from the bass. Was like, why do I sound so weak,
But they're playing Pioneer, because usually Zone also fixes. I'm just asking, like.
They were both playing digital. I think Cravo was playing on a Pioneer, and Will was playing on the Zone, and was just like bigger sound, more powerful, and it made more sense, the sound, like full spectrum from like the lows to the highs. And then I was like starting my own.
So you played after them?
No, I played before them. Okay. But I could.
Usually it intense. I mean, if you go from this to this in terms of sound,
it's even worse. But still somehow, because I think because of the stage, that I could like literally feel it, that my music has not such an impact. I was really just stayed in my mind, and from there I did some research, on products, or see if vinyl is limited to that amount of sound quality, or is it just like the audio equipment. And then I figured out that's actually like the audio equipment.
Tested it already in other gigs?
So I came from like the Zone to the Model 1, which was like a good step, and like it's all of a sudden it sounded a bit more powerful, a bit more open, a bit more like digital in a way. And then when I got into this rotary community, rotary mixers, I was like, okay, now we're at the point where you could discuss if it even sounds better than like the digital, like more dynamics.
And it doesn't affect the sound system inside. I mean, does it sound better if the sound system is Function One or Pioneer, or doesn't affect that much with the Razor?
So in the beginning, I thought this would only make sense in like clubs where they have like super high-end sound systems. But then I was like, I think even the clubs who don't have such good sound system need that mixer even more, the VOR, compared to the zone. Because like if you're playing at Berlin, for example, you can play on the zone and it will sound amazing anyway. Yeah, because it's so powerful. But clubs who lack a bit of like power, especially in the lows, a bit of punch, really benefit from the VOR having more low end. Yeah.
So it's all about bringing perfection at the end, because it's a lot of people would just have stayed like vinyl, it comes with this, but you start then thinking what extra can you add to your set. For the ones who don't know, the razor is the brown, like the woods.
It's handmade
in your reels, in your Instagram.
Exactly, yeah.
In your Instagram. That's
it's like one guy building them in Berlin.
Is it like manually built, not like...
Yeah, all hand built.
All handcraft.
All hand built. So shout out to Alex, is his name, is the founder of VOR Berlin. And what he's doing is basically taking like the best electronics available on the market, putting them together in like one unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get to him? Did you just met at some point, or it was digging information and you found that product that was curiously made in the city you're currently living?
Yeah.
And then start building the synergy with him, because this is extra plus, like 100%. Having that guy like...
Yeah, so nice. I mean, once I got into the rotary thing, I got aware that there's a community like the vinyl community and the whole music techno community, and I was on like Reddit and forums and stuff, and then eventually got aware of him and then found out, it's actually from Berlin. And then I texted him on Instagram. He was like, come by in my workshop, and was like, super cool. Like, he showed me everything, and I got a deeper understanding. And there I was like, okay, I really would love to support him as well. It's super cool to support small businesses in general, and it was like, do it.
And more if they are trying to fix something that shouldn't be a problem in the general minds of everyone, because I don't think there's many guys like him, like, thinking we need a product for this industry, that this is such developed, and we have all these big brands, but we still need something to be built. Takes this that limits this sound experience from vinyl. All the things you need to really have a very huge passion for all around.
I think the sad thing is, like, we were the level was higher, like especially for vinyl, analog reproduction in clubs was higher, and then over, like, especially in the 80s, 90s, thinking about like clubs like Paradise Garage in New York City and so on, they had like amazing sound systems with amazing mixers, like the Euro mixers, old school rotary mixers were really good, and then over the years it decreased, and I think that's a lot of DJs, new DJs, and so they don't, who were not around in the 80s, 90s, they don't know that there was something better. I was also not aware of it, and I accepted the fact, okay, vinyl just sounds a bit more shitty compared to digital, but then when I
I think maybe before it wasn't like...
I questioned the status quo, was like, is it really that limiting? And then once I went on my path researching it, I found out, it's actually not.
That's a very good point, because besides the backline, do you think also most clubs has joined this downtrend in how the club should be prepared to host vinyl artists in terms of stage, etc.? Because if the table is not close to the floor, you get all the vibrations from the thing covering the subwoofers and stuff. You get all these vibrations, and that difficulties the needle keeping on track, right? Do you think have you found that in a lot of clubs that they are not really much prepared for host vinyl artists?
I have to say, like, now I'm in like the third year of my career, and I play a lot of clubs like for the second time now or for the third time, and I would say there was always an improvement. So clubs improve fast, I think, and especially if you work hand in hand with them and leave them some feedback. And so now also I just prioritize a sound check way more, and this really helped to reduce like the amount of like failure in general. But still, I think it can get even better for sure. But I don't know. I was not around in like the 90s or early 2000s, so I think if you compare like modern clubs to those times, still like too much is going wrong.
Okay.
But I think we're on a really good way.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, you bring a very, very good point here.
Yeah.
The point on giving more relevance to the sound check.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, of course, the promoters, we need to make sure that everything is fine.
Yeah.
But when a live act comes or a vinyl act, something that's not that in a routine for us.
Yeah.
I think it's good for both sides.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know, and 100% since the moment they accept the booking, I understand they are trusting me for everything that goes smooth. But if you know that I am not an only vinyl promoter, so probably I will face some issues that I haven't experiment yet. Either the agency or the artist are, as you're saying, should get more involved in how things should go pre-opening the night.
Yeah, I think it's important for promoters and artists represented by an agency oftentimes to really have this communication to let them know, because you guys, you don't want anything bad for us, obviously, but as you say, you're in your routine, and like 80-90%, I don't know the numbers, of DJs you're booking, they play digital, and all of a sudden you need to do something that's maybe not in your workflow. And I think this really needs to be communicated well beforehand, that okay, tonight's a bit special, I'd say, and we need to take care of some extra things.
100%. But there's a point where even if you are represented by an agency, you need to be there, which is the sound check.
Exactly.
And so at some point, I think, of course, like gig live and stuff is very exhausting, but it gives that extra, it should give that extra confidence to the promoter as well. Like, okay, this guy is taking his time to make sure that everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, exactly.
If we don't have a vinyl artist testing around, or maybe even the sound technician that is always there, most likely people will tend to say, no, we've done this before, this will work.
Yeah.
But that also gives margin for error. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that it's very, very good that artists also have this extra consciousness on, okay, we are doing something that is not that common. So let's take this 5-10 minutes time. If it matches, of course, the tour life, to go there, figure it out. Same I would say for live acts and stuff. Like, it is something that is bringing a sort of difference to the status quo that we have as a promoters. It gives us this extra confidence, and also it takes us to push our standards. Like, okay, he's here with me. Making 100% sure that things should go this way.
Exactly. It's a bit of extra effort, but I mean, if you look at other performers like musicians and so on, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most of the time they do a proper, like they even practice like the whole show before that. So I think it's not too much to ask DJs to do a proper sound check. I mean, we have the privilege to do that, get paid, it's like
yes,
and then you have like a certain responsibility, and I at least for me, I try to do everything I can to make it worth it for everyone.
That's amazing. That's amazing, because sometimes, and I understand, like you have the tech rider, you've done it through so many years, and you expect everything to go fine, but I'm not talking about expecting. I'm just I'm talking about this giving extra confidence to the promoter.
Yeah.
And making sure together, like finding this synergy, okay, I'm coming here, I just expect everything to be mean, even though I know that this is not like your most common setup. Besides that, it just gives you this extra.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't expect it because this is it's a bit of a lost knowledge, so I can't expect it for everyone. So that's why I try to do the sound check. And also for me, what I notice, once I do the sound check, I feel more confidence because I can cool a bit down and know everything will be fine for the night. And then I can have a better time with you guys after, at the dinner or something, and I think this gives all a better vibe. We're all a bit more relaxed and professional,
Sure. Yeah. And even before starting the set, it's not the same starting like, okay, what the fuck will go wrong this time? Okay, I've made sure that this will run smoothly. There's a chance for failure, of course.
Yeah.
But at least first 30 seconds are 100% focused on what I'm displaying. You don't have this sort of negative thought behind you, like trying to catch up with what you really want to do on focus, right?
Yeah. Just smart to do it. Smart to do it. Yeah.
And going back to the community you mentioned before. Because, you said you found a community around the Razor mixer inside the vinyl community.
Yeah.
So, how's that community? Do you find a lot of support? Do you think it's getting wider, smaller, or it's just the same people for ages, or is new people joining it, even if they are playing, or just vinyl lovers in terms of like collect them or whatever? What do you find in that community?
Yeah, I think in this rotary, let's say like audiophile DJ community, what I noticed is more people playing different genres like house, disco. Not so many people from the techno scene who play vinyl are really like audiophile, I'd say. For them, I think it's more important about the functionality. For example, having the filters, the 4-band EQ on the zone, it's more important for them than the sound, maybe. But what I noticed, like, I try to, because I stand behind it and I really like, it's my passion. I try to show it on my socials as well. And what's cool to see is other techno DJs, trying out or texting me that they also tried out the Rotary now, and they understand, and we're also surprised that they actually sound better. And I think now it's really interesting. I think maybe it's a new start of a little like era, that we can all improve the sound as vinyl only artists. Yeah.
And also around the vinyl community, what do you find there? What do you find in the vinyl community? Is there a very supportive community behind it, where you can just motivate each other to keep going this path? We need to sustain this, even though we're not seeing many of us, like meaning the ones inside the pure vinyl community, right? In big festivals. Do you find there are relief in those, like maybe in the moments you can have where everything doesn't look as good as it should? Do you find this sort of extra confidence from that community? Do you support each other well?
Yeah.
Or it's just very independent, like, okay, we gather together, we sustain that, but at the end of the day, we're just everyone in our way? Or you find this collective power?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love the vinyl community. I think like one of my best friends, I met through basically this medium, I'm always fascinated how much like of the same values as a human being, as a personality we share, like I meet people from all around the world, and it seems like that people who say, okay, I choose to be a vinyl only DJs, they all have like certain characteristics in common, and
in terms of in terms of
like-mindedness. Exactly. Being just like honest people who just listen what feels right to them and are not in it for the money, rather than in it for like expressing themselves, and they're not afraid of like taking the more difficult route. And those are all things that I
need to be persistent, 100%.
Yeah.
That would be a common track, I'm very sure.
Yeah. And so no, I really enjoy it. Like and the way you meet people as well, you know, like for example, if I'm looking for music, I need to go into record shops, you know, it's not compared to like sitting in front of the computer looking for music. It's a really nice way to find new friends as well, or like-minded people. And so yeah, I meet up with people, like invite them to my studio during the week, oftentimes, and it's very cool. Yeah,
there's a lot going around. How competitive the industry.
I think it's not as vivid. Like on the socials, you wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah,
And just there.
Exactly, and I can tell you, like, there are so many people, and it's also maybe a shout to all the promoters. Like, there's so many people being as talented as I am, for sure, who don't get their deserved recognition. That's a bit of a pity, you know. Like,
don't spoil it, because this is one of my last.
Oh, okay.
No, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just a little bit to end. I would like you, of course, to point out one or two only vinyl artists that you think they should be. I know there will be a bunch of names.
Yeah.
I think this sounds, I don't know how much repercussion do we have here, but even if 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever people get to know these new names and maybe put them in the map, I think this would be appreciated. So let's use this little exposure to bring that to the table.
Yeah, as you said, you know, I know more than 2 people, so sorry to the ones I won't mention. But I'd say, like, first one that pops into my mind is also my flatmate, and like one of good friends since a long time. We started DJing together. His artist name is Kylie. And yeah, he's a really good DJ. Also has his distinct sound, and I'm always really like fascinated when we play back to back and so on. Like what track does he find? You know, I'm like, where did you find it? I was not aware of it, and I think I know a lot, you know, and he knows maybe even more. Yeah, and technically he's also really good. And the other DJ is Salty DJ. Maybe he's a bit more known already. Also played at Berlin yet.
All right.
And he's really like an underground weapon, I'd say. It's a really nice approach, like combining trance records with techno records, and his sets are really like for me like really interesting and creative. And yeah, he's also a lovely human being, and he's putting in so much effort, you know, that I want to see him on more around, and that people start to appreciate that. So yeah, check out Salty DJ and Kylie DJ.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And finally, just tell our crowd, the ones that be today here, anything you want. Like, just send them a small message. What will they find? Why should they come to see Slin DJ tonight?
Yeah, so it's my first time playing an all-nighter tonight, and I brought so many records that I'm so excited to play for the first time. And it will be a great sound. I have my mixer with me, and I'm just so excited. And I think it will be, if you really want to get to know me, like musically, and have a deeper understanding what I'm going for, I think this is like one of the best opportunities you can have. So yeah, better don't miss out.
Better don't miss out, exactly. So man, thanks so much for this time.
Thank you.
It has been amazing. And we'll see you tonight.
Yeah, exactly. See ya.
See ya.
Ciao.